like to introduce Edreys Wajed. He's a recent MFA graduate. He is someone who is constantly exploring every means of self-exploration through music and performance, jewelry, painting, and sculpture. Edreys wrapped up his solo exhibition at the Penny Birchfield Yard Center, which has since traveled to Sag Harbor, New York, and is showing at the Marc Bourget Gallery. He has co-curated his final exhibition at the Albright Knox in Northland and has called this These Truths, and was among the artists who collaborated on the Freedom Wall on Michigan Avenue. A collection of 28 portraits that depict key civil and human rights figures. Edreys Wajed is a catalyst for inspiration of walking enterprise and of all things creative. The Buffalo narrative boasts a toolbox of full of talents and experiences with all different visuals between artists and also a jewelry designer, musical entertainer, and an educator entrepreneur with notable recognitions that are all around Buffalo. So I'd like to introduce
all of that in 6 minutes. Okay. So, starting off here, people always ask me, Edreys, how long have you been an artist? How long have you been painting? How long? This is the earliest recorded dated drawing that I have. So I still have it. It is not framed yet. It is in a cellophane bag of Ziploc that my mom gave to me some years ago, just cleaning out things. Like, look what I found. So that's the start. My parents both met at Buffalo State College in the art department. So that explains quite a bit of what you'll be seeing. I am an artist. I have an older sister who's also a phenomenal artist. And in this picture here, you see this encaustic drawing or painting, which is a fancy way of saying we melted crayons to make art. This piece here is framed. This piece is about this big. It is, my parents, like I said, they met as artists. Unfortunately, they divorced because raising a family as artists was very challenging in the 70s. And so in their split, one evening I spent the night over at my dad's house, and he gave me the challenge of doing my first landscape painting, which was that piece of Jamaica. It was a picture of Jamaica from a National Geographic cover. This is the only existing piece I have outside of the other two from my youth. This is a picture that I drew as a senior. So by this time, my mom had stopped drawing. My dad still was practicing a little bit, but my mom took whatever job she could do to take care of my sister and I. And so art faded to the background, and I ended up following suit, putting art to the background because I had to grow up an adult and take care of our children with my wife and I. This is a picture of me in 2010 with one of my favorite art students. I was a visual arts high school teacher, which I did not like. So for 6 years while I taught, I didn't create any artwork of my own. Drew me into pretty much a depressive state. And a friend of mine challenged me to draw just 5 days straight. Post it, tag me in it, I'll be accountability partner. That 5 days straight turned into 700 drawings. 700 unique daily drawings every day. In that exploration, I started to get back to where I was really passionate about, which was music and mark making. So what you see here is just black and white using lines to articulate music that I hear. I'm a big hip hop head. I used to perform as an MC, traveling and touring doing music and such. So music and connecting art together are where I find my synergy. What began to happen was through those 700 drawings daily, I started to draw a lot of attention, obviously draw a lot of attention. And so it started to come off of paper and started to go on into places. And placemaking, right? Where people would gather and people would see this artwork outside of just being on a sheet of paper. Kind of what someone calls an outdoor museum of sorts. 2017, after quitting the teaching job, I had to build the career I wanted in being an artist. So this is me, night one of the Freedom Wall, which you saw earlier, Dr. Johnson's drawing. And this is me drawing at about 12 feet or 14 feet of a panel over on the east side of Buffalo. These 7 pictures are images of 7 of the 28 dignitaries who sacrificed their lives and their careers for human and civil rights. So this opportunity came at an incredible time for me in 2017, which that leap led me into so many other things that were native to that very early drawing that I showed you, of me being an artist and proclaiming that and living as such. This is kind of a revisit of the black and white drawing that I showed you, which was on paper, of me articulating and listening to music. This is where I started to break into color now, started to get more expressive, started to expand and get larger. Every picture you see from here is going to get larger and larger in scale. In 2020, when the world kind of stopped, as Alexa mentioned, we went virtual. And one of the things we were doing, we have these weekly conversations on our couch talking about art, experience, and things of that nature. This is from 2020 at the Buffalo Art Studio, where we had our first in-person museum. Like, Buffalo Art Studio is one of the first places that opened up during that really scary time, and I had an exhibit during that time. And again, you see the work getting larger. This was displayed on 1120 Main Street near Best in the storefront window. So it was, again, out in the public now, where it's accessible, where it can change the spaces that they're in. I had the opportunity to paint this mural for the late Lorna C. Hill, who was the founder of one of the oldest Black theaters in Buffalo. She has passed, and this is our kind of our memorial for her, which now is in the theater space when you come into the vestibule area. Again, I'm getting smaller and smaller, right? So this is John Lewis, the late John Lewis. This is over on near Paderewski Street, over right in eye shot of the Central Terminal. And again, now you see these things colliding. I'm still using music. I used a piece from 1967, I believe, jazz music that would have been probably playing during that civil rights time. Expanding further, going into the community and doing more and more work with the community by being consistent with my care and my interest in drawing people together and bringing awareness into places that have kind of been overlooked. This is on the corner of William Emsley, on the side of the YMCA, commissioned by M&T Bank. One of the things I want to stick in here and insert is, as she mentioned, I went back to school for my MFA. Again, I could not apply for a job anywhere that seemed to suit me, so I had to, we're here talking about building. I had to build the career. So I went back, got my MFA. That show went from the Birchfield to here, which was the art gallery I was in the Hamptons. So I had a show in the, yeah. And lastly, to celebrate our anniversary, we are both artists. This is, last Friday, we opened up a joint show at the Buffalo Big Print on Allotted, and I don't know who the cross street is, but we are artists full-fledged. Eat off art is our motto, going from starving to thriving artists. Thank you.